Today, I feel like we got our play. We got to play in all three phases. I take my hat off to the Dolphins. They did a heck of a job. Um, was disappointed in special teams and some of the things that went on there. When you go on the road, you can't give opponents anything. And I felt like we started the game out with the block punt and then the offsides. That was just not very smart. Put us in the hole off the bat. I thought the guys battled back. I love when we came out at halftime. We said we needed to stop and we need to go down the field and run the football and slow down their pass rush. And I thought we did those two things. But then we gave up a couple big plays again on defense, and they got two scores ahead and they got away from us a little bit in the second half. But overall, it just wasn't good enough, and that's on me. I understand that, but overall, it just wasn't good enough. Any questions?
Jeff Miller.
Anthony, it seemed like on offense, you just really never got into much of a rhythm until that last series. What was happening on offense?
That team pressured more than anybody in the National Football League, just about, and they brought a lot of stuff. So there's only so many things you can do, and they challenged our protection, and at times we did not protect very well. At times they brought one more than we can block, and they played the game with us. They got to us before we got to our guy, and that's the way it went.
You guys stuck to the run quite a bit. Was that to try to combat that pressure?
Well, you got to slow it down, and we feel like we could establish the run, and then we could set up our run action pass and take our shots down the field like we've always done. And Justin has handled that very well, but we had to do something to combat that pressure.
What did you think about the way Justin played? Obviously, statistically, it was not one of his best games. What did you think about his performance?
You know what? He had one turnover. Other than that, he had to get rid of the ball sometimes a little early. A couple of times I thought he got rid of it a little too soon, but he also moved around, made some plays with his legs, and kept his eyes down the field and hit some open receivers. So, it's a great experience for him, but, none of us played well enough today, obviously.
Okay, thanks.
Cam Buford.
Hey, Coach. You had it right. You guys started the game off not so swell and kind of got behind the eight ball, it seems. But with that being said, do you feel the running the ball as much as you did kind of take you out your game plan, or was that the Dolphins dictating to you how you should run your offense?
Well, we were never that far out of the game to not run the football, Cam. You 2 scores down. With all your timeouts, you still run the football. There's plenty of time left in that game when we came back out in the third quarter, I do believe. So when we had to throw it, well, I feel like at the end, that's what we did. But we had to run it to get back in it and keep them honest.
But when I say that, I feel that Herbert is probably your most explosive player on the field. He's your opportunity to get you more points, and you end up giving more touches to Kalen Ballage and kind of putting the ball in Herbert's hand. Was that a strategy just to combat the pressure that they were given?
Anytime it's second and short, third and short, Caleb is usually my running back. Usually going to touch that ball. We're going to take the high percentage play, but. In this game, with the pressure that we was under and the disguises that they were giving us, no, I didn't think it was smart to throw the ball 50 times. It might have been a lot more going on if we had done that. So I feel like as long as we were in the game, then we had to keep them off balance. We had to stay balanced as we could, but then throw it when we needed to.
Coach, this is a third year 3 in 16 with games 8 points or less, I believe the stat is. How do you change that, Coach?
Well, don't think that we're okay with that. We're
certainly.
These guys are working every week, and coaches are coaching, and we go out and we play to win the game. We don't play to lose a 1-score game. We play to win the damn game, and we didn't get it done.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Travel safe.
Mm-hmm.
Hopper.
Hey, Anthony. After these last 2 losses, these last 2 weeks, you said that you thought the team was really close. Do you still feel that way?
Well, today we got to play. This wasn't one of those games where it came down to the wire and I feel like we should. Today, losing this game today, I can see why. When you make those mistakes on teams and when you make the mistakes that we made offense and defensively, we had our hands on 3 balls that we did not come down with. that should have been 3 interceptions. Okay, when you don't take advantage of those type of opportunities, you don't win these games.
But does a loss like this change your opinion about how close this team is?
No, it does not at all. Not at all.
Why not?
Because you're going to have games like this throughout the season. If we'd have won the rest of those games, we still could have had a game like this. It doesn't change how I feel about this football team.
And then just with the special teams, it seems like you brought it up obviously in your intro, but just it seems like I'm asking you about this every week. There seems to be a play every week, a blunder that has a huge impact on the game. There's multiple special teams penalties every game. It seems like. What has to change for the special teams to improve?
Well, I mean, that could be personnel, and there's some guys out there today that won't be out there next week. I can tell you that. We'll talk about that as a team, but that was disappointing to see.
So did you look at it as a situation where you lost a lot of your experienced special teams players to free agency this offseason and just don't have the experience in those spots to avoid?
Anytime you lose the guys that were Pro Bowl special team players like Derek Watt and Adrian Phillips and Nick Zubner, and all those guys were key special teams guys, but we expect the other young guys to step up in those positions. And right now that's been a struggle, to be honest with you. It just has not happened.
So you view this as a personnel issue and not necessarily a coaching issue on special teams?
It's all of us. And when I say personnel, that's everybody.
And then just as far as the run heavy approach, obviously, you talked about how you wanted it to just sort of combat the pressure. How do you avoid, though, getting a little too predictable on early downs? You guys were rushing on first down like quite frequently. Is that a worry at all about getting
those looks? I mean, those calls at the line of scrimmage, that's 2 or 3 calls that young man can make, and Justin's gonna get to the one that gives him the best look. And some of those his call at the line of scrimmage. It could be a pass call, but they give us a run look, he gets into it.
And then it seems like in a game like this, when another team is pressuring as much as they are, you sort of have to hit on a couple shot plays if you're going to have a chance to win. And it seemed like when Justin was looking downfield, those plays were covered. Obviously, you have to watch the tape, but did those plays not sort of materialize how you expected?
Some of those plays didn't materialize because they were getting to him before we could get down the field. But yes, we definitely had our shot plays in there and try to get our shots off. And that was why it was so important that while we were still in the game, we didn't just get one-dimensional. I don't think you can win in this league when you get one-dimensional against a high-pressure team like that, for sure. And we didn't want them dictating us what we could and can do. So when we had those opportunities to run the ball and set up the run-action pass, we tried to do that. But I give them credit. Their pressure was getting to us.
And last one for me, you have a fan base that's obviously pretty frustrated at this point. What's your message to them?
My message to my team and to my coaches, we want to win for our fans. There's no doubt about that. And we're not getting it done, and we're as frustrated as anybody. So don't think that we're not trying to turn this around and get this going in the right direction.
Thank you.
Last one for you, Coach Gilbert.
Yeah, Anthony, after the Justin Herbert interception in the fourth quarter, it kind of felt like the team kind of lost some effort there. How would you kind of describe the final quarter for effort-wise?
No, I mean, I watched the tape and see that, but I don't see this team playing with any less effort. I have not seen that. But since you brought it up, I watched the fourth quarter in particular.
Okay. And just like, being 2-7, and you tend to keep these guys motivated and competitive, but how do you kind of keep that going throughout the whole year? And the season kind of feels like, playoffs are out of the picture.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, we have 7 games left, and we'll find out what we're made out of. And character is always revealed in these situations. So I guess we'll find out over the next 7 weeks.
And Anthony, it seemed like Trey Turner was on a snap count. Was that the case, or were they kind of struggling with the groin injury?
Trey Turner, what?
Was he on a snap count, or was he struggling with the groin injury?
Well, the guy hadn't played in 6 weeks, so it wasn't like he's going to go out there and play an entire football game. So, yes, I had him on a snap count.
Thank you, Anthony.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
I guess.